Okay, so we are going to get started here. So today, this masterclass is all about the habits that I developed to take me from a hot mess to dropping 30 pounds, having more energy, more focus, and I've been able to keep the weight off, and it's really helped me to propel success in all areas of my life. And so I want to share those habits with you because no matter what your goal is, it really comes down to your habits. And they say that 20% of what we do gets us 80% of the results. And that is so, so true. How many times do we just go through life, we go through our day doing all these things, but really when it comes down to having success and getting the results we want, it really comes down to that 20%. And I want to help you hone in on what that 20% is for you. And I'm going to share the habits I developed, and these habits have taken me to get my health results. It's also helped me to have less stress, to be a better parent, to be a better wife. And I'm in a completely different place, both lifestyle and career, than I was 4 years ago. So I want to talk to you about that. So okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, let me know if you can see this. So these are just some notes. Since my presentation isn't working, we're going to go through this. So this masterclass is for you if you want more focus, more productivity, and stop wasting your time doing things that aren't really mattering and that aren't working for you. So these habits, like I said, these habits have helped me drop 30 pounds, keep the weight off for good, have less stress in my life, and be more productive and get more done in all areas. It's helped me to have a cleaner house. It's helped me to master my to-do list and so much more. So who am I? If this is your first time seeing me, well then welcome. Who am I? My name is Misty Shaheen, and I am a health and wellness strategist and lifestyle strategist. And I help women lose the weight without feeling like a slave to cardio or calories. And I have helped dozens of women shed the baby weight even years after they've had the baby. So let me know if that's you, if you're someone who is sitting here, you've been wanting to lose weight. However, baby weight, it's not really baby weight. If your kid is walking, if your kid is running, going to preschool, going to kindergarten, it's no longer baby weight, right? It's just dead weight. That's what it is. So that's what I've done, not only for myself, but I've helped my clients do the same. So a little bit about my story is I had my first kid when I was at the age of 26, and I gained over 50 pounds with him. The real kicker is because he was born 6 weeks early. So I want you to think about that. So if I would have gone full term, I probably would have gained 70, possibly 80 pounds with him. But I gained 50 pounds, and I kept 30 plus pounds of overweight for over 4 years. And I tried so many things. I tried so many diets, so many workout programs. The weight just wouldn't come off. Or if it did, if I did find success, it didn't last for long. Or as soon as I stopped doing what I was doing, or as soon as life happened and I got off track, then the weight just came back on. And so I really didn't have a lot of success. I carried that baby weight forever. What felt like really forever. So in 2012, I went through depression, binge eating, binge drinking phases because of my weight, my lack of self-confidence, and I just felt like a failure. I felt like a failure in my whole life, and my weight and self-confidence was a core part of that. It was a core part of it. So in 2013, I was pregnant with baby number 2, and I made a decision that things would be different. And how I came to this decision was I was going back through and I was looking through my baby pictures from my first child, and nothing, I wasn't in any of them. I had hundreds and hundreds of photos and I wasn't in any of them. And this was a problem for me. And I realized, I cherish the photos I have of myself as a child, especially with my parents. And I look back and I am able to envision what our life was like, and what life was like back then. And here I was, my son is 4 years old. I have very little photos with him, especially in the first year of his life. And I was like, I've stolen all of those memories from him. So I didn't want that to be the case with my second. And I decided that I had to make some changes. I declared I would be in her photos, and I would be able to pass on photos to her of, her and I. So I had her in 2013, in the summer of 2013, and I ate healthy most of my pregnancy, and I walked throughout my pregnancy. I also nursed her until she was 3 years old, so I ate healthy. I was already eating what I felt like was healthy. Mostly whole foods, very little processed foods. So I felt like my diet really wasn't the problem. So in early 2014, I decided she was old enough to where I had developed my milk supply, and I wanted to really start getting focused on losing that weight, really fine-tuning my diet, and starting to work out. So but thanks to my own efforts, I just wasn't getting the results I wanted. So in March, I reached out to a health coach, and my health coach started me out on a nutrition plan, and we talked on the phone every week regarding, what I was doing, and she helped me kind of refine some of the things I was doing and helped me get better results. So in April, I was starting to get more active, and by summer, I had lost 30 pounds and felt better than I ever had. So I really want to go through with you today on what some of those habits were that I had to cultivate to not only drop the 30 pounds, but I've been able to keep it off. So right now, I'm actually pregnant with my third child, but I have been able to maintain my weight, my whole the whole 4 years that I have been on this weight loss journey. I've improved my lifestyle, and I feel so much more confident. I'm in photos all the time with my kids, and I am able to really just feel my best. And so my diet has evolved over the 4 years. My workouts have evolved over the 4 years. However, my habits have stayed consistent, and it's the habits that I developed that have helped me stay consistent in my weight loss, but also in this pregnancy. So how many women do you know that once they get pregnant, they kind of like let their health goals go out the window? And that is so, so common. However, because I developed a certain set of habits that I haven't. I've gained about 20 pounds this pregnancy. I'm now in my 3rd trimester, and I feel amazing. So, so if you could do one thing, if I want you to think about your goal for the next 3 months. Like, what is that goal for you? It could be money, it could be financial, it could be your career, it could be your health, it could be in your relationship. But if you think about that goal you want, and if you could only do one thing different, if you could just master one thing, this would make the world a difference and propel you to get those results. What would it be? Because I'm not here to tell you you have to do everything perfect, because you don't. You do not have to do everything perfect. However, there are a few things, if you could just get right, 1 or 2 things that could take your results to the next level. So I want to talk about what those habits were for me. So habit number 1 was I made it a point to eat breakfast every single day. Now, we know breakfast is important, right? Breakfast helps us be more productive, helps us be more focused. We know from lots and lots of research that people who eat breakfast eat less calories over the course of the day versus people who don't eat breakfast or skip breakfast, and then they end up binge eating later on in the day, whether for lunch or dinner, because they're so hungry. So eating steady, consistent meals, like eating breakfast in the morning, can help stabilize your blood sugar, and it can really help you stay focused. So eating breakfast every single day. If you need help with this, I actually have a free download. It's I think there's 7 or 10 different easy breakfasts that you can do in like 10 minutes or less, because I know we're all busy. I know the number 1 reason why you're skipping breakfast is you just don't have the time, or you just don't know what to make. So I have that available for you, and I can send that out with the replay. Habit number 2, morning motivation. So habit number 2 was I started to listen to motivational speakers first thing in the morning. And this really helped me, because in the beginning, I wasn't motivated to do the things I needed to do. I wasn't motivated to go work out. I wasn't motivated to eat healthy. However, listening to a motivational speaker first thing in the morning got my fire going. It was like, oh yes, I really can do this, right? And so some of my favorite motivational speakers then was Les Brown was like one of my favorites, as well as Jim Rohn. So Les Brown talks a lot about other people's opinion of you does not have to be your reality. How other people think of you has nothing to do with you, and so you get to define what your reputation is. You get to define what your character is, and it has nothing to do what other people think about you. And so that was really powerful. coming from a long line of what felt like failures to me in my life over the past year, it really helped me to pick myself up by the bootstraps and say, okay, today's a new day. So Jim Rohn is a great speaker, and he talks a lot about success and talks a lot about habits, and he talks a lot about what it takes to create success in your life. And most of his, a lot of his stuff has to do with business, but it also just like overall in life. And if you want to get ahead in your life, you know, so that's some things that he talks about. Right now, I'm also loving Lisa Nichols, so she's a female motivational speaker, and so the past year or two, I've really started to notice a lot of the speakers that I listened to early on and the coaches I listened to early on were very they're men and very masculine driven. However, more and more that I've learned to step into my feminine and have more flow in my life, I want to infuse my life with more of the female empowerment. And so I love Lisa Nichols. Habit number 3 is food tracking. So when I first started, there was no rhyme or reason to my day. There was no schedule other than I had my kids on a schedule. So before I became a health coach, and while I was on this journey to losing weight, I was actually working 60 hours a week, watching other people's kids from sometimes like 6 or 7 in the morning until 11 o'clock at night. And so there was no, I mean, my daycare kids were on a consistent schedule, but I was just like going with the flow. And sometimes I didn't have time to eat. Sometimes I would eat whatever they were eating. There was just no rhyme or reason to anything I was doing for myself. And so starting to track my food, track when I was eating, what I was eating, and that really started to help me get focused on my own goals. And so that massively, massively helped. And so sometimes we just need a system. We just need structure. So learning to know what I should be eating for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, for my snacks, but also knowing what time I should be eating and when I was actually eating, because before there was no rhyme or reason. So I couldn't tell you how many times I ate in a day. I really didn't know, because I wasn't eating like on a regular basis. I was just eating when I was hungry, and I was letting my body detect when I should be eating. However, most of us, that can be good if you're being really mindful and in tune with yourself. But if you are where I was so busy, I would just forget to eat. I would just be so busy, and I didn't have time to take time for myself, let alone be listening to my body. So habit number 4 is developing a morning routine. And this is so important because it can really fast track your day. Having focus and intention in your day, and if you can get a couple small wins the first part of your day, the rest of the day you feel like a rock star. Like, you know, on the days I get a workout in first thing in the morning, I feel like I can conquer the whole rest of the day. And so having somewhat of a consistent morning routine where you're doing the same set of 2, 3, 4, even 5 actions before you even go into work, before the kids get up in the morning, or before you're off putting them off to school, can really drive serious momentum in your day. And it can really help you feel like you're being successful and like you are in control of your day rather than your day is in control of you. So habit number 5 I want to talk about is having an evening routine. So just like having a morning routine can set us up for success, having an evening routine can really help with calming us down in the day. After a full day, you want to have that evening routine. This includes going to bed at the same time every night. If you have kids, then having like a set of actions. This is what we're doing an hour or so before bedtime. And that can help them too feel like they know what's coming next. And it helps them kind of unwind in their day because they know bedtime is coming up. And so it can help really set the mood for bedtime. So I hope this is helpful. So just to recap, let's talk about the 5 habits. We talked about breakfast, some morning motivation, having that positive thinking come in first thing in your day, food tracking, having a morning routine, and having an evening routine. And these are some of the key habits that I still use today. Now my morning motivation, sometimes it's a podcast, sometimes it's a YouTube video, but I always have something positive that I'm listening to, success focused, that I'm listening to on a daily basis, first thing in the morning. So yeah, so I want to let you know that I am opening up an accountability group. This is my Habit Developer and Accountability 6-week course. And just by being here today, I'm giving you first access into the course. And it's 6 weeks. So every week we're going to be going over a new habit. And then we'll have one final week of kind of regrouping, fine-tuning everything, bringing it all together, and having like that implementation week where if you struggled with one habit, then you can go back through and really solidify it. Every week we're going to have a Q&A call. Every week you're going to have video modules and worksheets that are going to help you solidify that habit of the week. And we are going to be in a private Facebook group where you can come in and we're going to be talking about those habits. We're going to talk about what's working and what's not working. So you have some sisterhood, you have some accountability, and what is working for you, what is working for someone else. It might be a little different, and we can all come together and declare, you know, this is how I'm doing it. So as a bonus, I am adding a bonus. If you grab it today, you're going to get my mindset and journal practice. It's an extra module I'm doing, and you'll have access to that immediately. You'll have access to that before the course starts. And as an extra bonus, I'm also gifting you my 5-day e-course to Simplified Slim Down and our transformation lab that will help you with that.